Yacht Club Games recently had two of its top guys appear on the 8-4 Play podcast, where we learned a little bit more about Shovel Knight and Yacht Club. Yacht Club said they tried to make a mobile platformer before thinking up Shovel Knight, and for a while they were trying to incorporate a customizable AI partner into Shovel Knight as one of the amiibo features, kind of like how they do it in Smash. But what I think you'll all find a lot more interesting is that they basically confirmed that Shovel Knight's going to continue as a series. They said it would be silly not to make Shovel Knight 2. They talked about taking the series forward with a 16-bit sequel, kind of like Shovel Knight's Mega Man X moment. And they say that they'd love to make a 3D platformer that scratches the Mario 64 itch, as opposed to like the Banjo-Kazooie itch with, collectathon versus a sort of mission-based adventure.
Yeah, this is an indie game that really just took everybody by storm, and it exceeded all sales expectations, and then you saw everyone wanted a piece of it. It came to Xbox with exclusive content, it came to Sony with exclusive content, so, I agree with them. It would be silly not to follow up the game when it has this this massive following of passionate fans.
I love the concept that they're talking about, where they might make a 16-bit sequel, and then maybe they'll make a 3D platformer.
Yeah.
There's just something about retro-styled games where it's like, okay, the novelty of a new 8-bit game is great, but let's see what you can do with more modern tools. And so sort of tracing the history of gaming seems like a really great way to continue a game that was really successful at being that sort of 8-bit retro-style platformer.
Yeah, and it's a great sort of rebirth of that kind of era where gaming was defined, by great games, but also by great characters. And Shovel Knight is really this character who recaptures that spirit in a time when, a lot of the games like Fallout and Assassin's Creed and stuff are based on, stories and changing protagonists more so than they are on making an icon. And I think seeing the birth and growth and evolution of an icon born in 2014, but still changing as he would if he was born in 1984, that's just so fascinating, really.
Yeah, it really gets me nostalgic, I think, because I grew up in a time where, we were transitioning from the 16-bit era to the 64-bit era, and so, I think that'd be really cool if they continue along this path, and it'll be just like the comparison they used, Mega Man. I love the Mega Man X games, for example, so, even more than the original 8-bit games. So I'm excited to see what they do with 16-bit Shovel Knight, if they decide to go in that direction. Because, with Mega Man, it really changed up what they could do in terms of level design and in terms of, how you scale around the levels. They gave X all kinds of new abilities and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see if they kind of change your traversal up a little bit with Shovel Knight if they take it in a 16-bit direction.
Hello everybody, thank you for listening to this Nintendo Week clip, NWC. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more highlights and discussion videos from Nintendo Week podcast, or subscribe to us on iTunes for weekly breakdowns of all your Nintendo news, discussion segments on subjects, games, and more, and tons of other features. Thanks for listening, and we will see you tomorrow with another NWC.